Hi guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to Prompt week 3. I'm so excited to delve into this week. I'm hoping after last week my reading groove is fully back in the full swing of things and I can smash out lots more books this week. We are here to sit down and pull out 2 prompts right at the beginning of the week. It is Monday. I am still in the middle of my current read from last week. If you didn't watch that vlog, I'll link it up above and down below. I'm in the middle of Delilah Green It Doesn't Care, which was for Randomise Your Physical TBR, where we got Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, which is the 3rd book in the Delilah Green Bright Hills trilogy. So I decided to jump into the first one before delving into the last one. So that's where we're currently at. But having a book already set out for me made me want to read the current book more in last week's video. So we're going to do that again and pull out a prompt for my physical book off my TBR this week. And I'm also audiobook free at the minute as well, so we're going to pull out a prompt for my audiobook. So without further ado, where's my phone? I'm really hoping the spinner wheel is nice to me because we haven't had a chaotic spin on the wheel yet during this kind of like prompt to prompt month. So hopefully it can stay nice because we haven't got any of like the challenge prompts yet, which would make the weekly vlog a little bit more intense. So without further ado, let's hop into the first spin. This will be for the audiobook pick. So I'm hoping it's just a standard one. Fingers crossed we're looking for a purple. Oh no. Double up on prompts. This is the first time we've got a challenge spinner wheel selection on my prompt to prompt month so far. So need to pull 2 prompts and hopefully combine both of them and also pick an audiobook that is a physical book on my TBR, if that makes sense. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna go for... Oh, there's 2 together, so let's just go for these 2. And the first prompt is, oh my god, it's a long one. It says, a book you've acquired recently, physical or ebook. Okay, so that's a good caveat. So a book I've acquired recently, which isn't many, seeing as I haven't really been buying many books in a minute. Or we have, or the fact we have to double up on this one. Oh god, these are both long. Can you read that? A book that's a continuation of a series you're in the middle of. Okay, I don't know if those 2 prompts work together. A continuation of a series that is recently acquired that I need to have as an audiobook. Let's just see if I can work this out. So I haven't really acquired many books recently. The most recent book I acquired was in last week's vlog, which was Paige Toon's What If I Can Never Get Over You, which I know her audiobook wouldn't be available for. Plus, I don't want to listen to this book. I want to read it physically with my eyeballs. So I'm going to counteract that one. I'm not sure I can make both of these prompts work. Okay, the last book I acquired within 2025 that I haven't read yet is The Wedding People on my ebook. But I don't think that would be available as an audiobook anywhere. And if it is, I'll be very, very excited to read it. I'm going to check Everand first. I just don't think it'll be on Everand. And I think I might have an audiobook credit. Okay, it's not on Everand, but I think I might have an audiobook credit. Yeah, I do. I have 1 credit. Okay. I do want to listen. I do want to read that book. Whether I want to listen to it as an audiobook, I don't know, but I guess we'll never find out if I don't try. So I guess I'm using the credit to get The Wedding People by Alison Espach. So I don't know how you pronounce the author's name, but I'm assuming I'll figure it out when I listen to the audiobook of it. And that is, I guess, what I'm reading as an audiobook this week, which I actually am really excited for. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. It's been on my radar for ages. I've heard incredible things about it. So I guess I'm listening to the audiobook. And if I feel like I want to audiobook and e-read it at the same time, I'm going to allow myself to do that, as long as I predominantly read it via audiobook, which I'll do to and from work this week whilst I'm commuting. So that's the audiobook pick. That was a little bit chaotic, but we got there. Luckily, the caveat on the... Oh no, wait. Oh, I can't do that, and now I've just brought the credit. I can't do that because it's not a continuation of a series I'm in the middle of. So back to the drawing board, I guess, and I'm not reading The Wedding People this week. In terms of books I'm in the middle of that I haven't read and I've acquired this year, I just don't think that, 1, I can get an audiobook of, 2, that a series I'm in the middle of, and a book that I've acquired this year, because I'm not buying books this year, I don't have any. I physically don't have any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep The Wedding People. Am I cheating? I'm going to cheat. I'm going to keep The Wedding People of a book that I've acquired recently for that prompt, and I'm going to put a prompt back of the continuation of a series. I'm going to put that one back into my TBR jar because it's just too complicated. So I just don't physically think I'll be able to come up with a book that, one, is an audiobook, two, that I've recently acquired, and three, that also matches a continuation of a series. That's not, I don't think, possible with my current physical TBR and the situation I'm currently in with not acquiring books this year. So I'm going to take the audiobook kind of requirement that I was spinning for as one of the prompts and combine it with a book that I've acquired recently, Kindle or physical, and I'm going to do The Wedding People because I just don't think I can try and combine those three categories as things into one right now. So The Wedding People is my audiobook pick for this week. I am really excited to listen to it. I don't actually know what it's about, so maybe we'll find that out together later, but I want to forget about that chaos that just happened, oh my god, and pull or slash spin for my physical book to read after I finish Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I do really want to try and get this one on my TBR this week, but if not, I would actually really like to continue the Delilah Green Doesn't Care trilogy, which would be Asher Parker Doesn't Fail, which would be the second book. If not, we'll just see what the universe gives me, because clearly the wheel isn't going to be very nice to me this week, and it might be a bit of a chaotic one. So we're spinning again for my physical book of the week. After I finish Delilah Green Doesn't Care, please be nice to me. I'm not ready for more chaos. I'm not ready for more chaos. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Double up on prompts again. Okay. But this one is my physical book, so it'll be a little bit easier to fulfill. She says that, not knowing what the prompts are yet. One. Okay, one. Two. Okay. You have to double up on these two because I failed at doubling up last time, so these two have to work. Okay, what does that say? That says, a book you've hauled this year. Okay, come on. Be nice to me. Be nice to me. What does it say? What does it say? What does it say? The suspense. It says, a book you haven't read from before, an author you haven't read from before, that I've acquired this year. Okay, so that puts Page Tune out of the window. I will read you soon, I promise. Okay, a book that I've acquired recently. I'm going to take that as not only a physical book, but also an ebook if I need to, that I've acquired recently. One is coming straight to mind looking over at my physical TBR, and that is The People We Keep by Alison Larkin. I've tried reading this book before. I got 50 pages into it and then put it down. I was getting myself into a reading slump, so I could pick this book back up again. This is definitely an option because I acquired it this year, and it's also an author I haven't read from before. Let's go back to my very unhelpful 2025 reading tracker. So books that I've acquired this year from authors that I haven't read from are All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. I haven't actually read any of her works before, and I got that as an ebook. And then I could also read The Baby Dragon Cafe, which is also an ebook. And that's it in terms of acquired this year. And because it says acquired recently, I will take it as a 2025 new books I brought. So those are like my only three options. And I think I'm gonna have to go to People We Keep. Not only is it on my 2025 TBR, it's a book I've acquired this year. It's a book I've wanted to get around to for ages. And I have already like soft DNF'd it, and I should get around reading it again sooner rather than later. And it'll be a book off my physical TBR, which is what Prompt to Prompt is all about. And I haven't read a physical book yet in April. It's been audiobooks and ebooks, so I should read this one. So after all that chaos, which I think I've been recording for about 15 minutes, we are reading The Wedding People as my audiobook pick and The People We Keep for my physical book pick after we finish Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. I am actually going to start this book from the beginning again because it's been about 5-ish weeks since I last picked up this book, and I just think I need to start again from scratch. But it'll be a skim read of the first 50 pages because I do kind of remember where we're at, but I can't truly remember, and I feel like I wouldn't be able to get my teeth into the story if I just kind of jumped in from where I left off. So I am going to kind of like restart this book. But first off, I actually need to finish Delilah Green Doesn't Care, and I still have quite a long way to go. So I'm hoping to finish it by tomorrow latest. I'm 34% of the way through, 128 pages in out of like a 390 page book, so we have a little bit of chunker to go for this one, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's where we're at. That was chaotic. Happy Monday, and I'll keep you posted. It is Monday evening, just going to bed for the night. It is just gone 9:30, and I'm going to continue reading some more of Delilah Green. I almost hit myself in the face with my Kindle. Delilah Green Doesn't Care. I've read a little bit this evening, not too much, because the new season of The Last of Us has come out, so my obsession with Pedro Pascal has restarted. So me and Mark watched the first episode of that. We went for a walk, which you saw because I vlogged a little bit. So the reading hasn't taken full priority this evening, but I'm 46% of the way through on page 175, and I started on like 130-ish today, so not too bad. I wanted to try and get like at least like 60 or 70% of the way through this today so I could like finish it off tomorrow, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. But hopefully tomorrow evening I can read a lot and get this book finished tomorrow, because I'd still love that to actually be the case. Still really enjoying it. I don't actually think I've told you what this book is about. I don't know if right now is the time, but I'm going to tell you anyway, so buckle in. It basically follows our main character Delilah Green, who has a stepsister called Astrid Parker. Astrid Parker is about to get married to a guy called Spencer, and Astrid and Delilah don't have the best relationship. Unfortunately, both of Delilah Green's parents passed away when she was younger, and she basically got taken care of by her stepmother, Astrid's mum, and Astrid. And she grew up not really feeling that connected to the family. She felt very much like the outsider. So as soon as she could leave the small town of Bright Falls, where they grew up, she did, to try and kind of create this life for herself that she really wanted. And she started to make herself known in the photography industry with a niche of queer people and telling their story. So that's kind of like where you start the book. Delilah Green is in New York. She's about to kind of like really kick off her career in the photography industry, but she gets called back home to be the photographer for Astrid's wedding, which she really doesn't want to do. She doesn't want to go back to the small town that really felt like deserted her, and the family who didn't really want her at all once their parents passed away. So she's really begrudgingly going back to just basically get money off the family, because Astrid's mum's like, come back, I'll pay you 15 grand to just photograph Astrid's wedding. So she's like, fine, if I can get this 15 grand, then I can start paying the bills properly and I can really like give this photography career a go. So she goes back very begrudgingly to photograph her stepsister's wedding, and her stepsister, Astrid's maid of honor, Claire, is the sexy, mysterious lady that Delilah Green starts to fall for in this small town. So it's kind of like a small town, forbidden sort of romance, in the fact that like it's kind of off boundaries, because Astrid's going to get married. She's only there to get the money, yet she's starting to fall for the maid of honor, which she's kind of out of bounds for. So it's an interesting dynamic. I'm really enjoying it. I'm really, really liking the dynamic between not only Astrid and Delilah, because they've got this kind of like bickering kind of stepsister relationship going on. You kind of know they kind of love each other, but they don't want to admit it, so they kind of like act like they hate each other. And then you've kind of got Claire, who is Delilah Green's kind of like love interest, who's very much like still trying to discover who she is after having broken up with her partner, who is the father of her child. So she's a single mum, and you have kind of that sort of dynamic. And then you have Astrid's other best friend, Iris Kelly, who is the book that I really want to read, because that's Iris Kelly Doesn't Date, which is fake dating, which I can't wait to read. So you have this really interesting dynamic of the four of them, and I'm really enjoying it. And the fact that you get Delilah Green's book, which really focuses around Delilah and Claire, and then you have Astrid's book, and then you have Iris's book, I really feel like this is going to be a very close-knit companion series. And I completely see why someone commented on my video saying you need to read these in order, because I really feel like you're going to get the most out of this trilogy companion series by reading them in order. So I'm really enjoying it so far. I've done a lot of hand movements, bear with, but yeah, I'm going to sit down or lie down now and read as much as I can before falling asleep before 10 p.m. But yeah, really, really enjoying it. Happy Monday, and I will keep posted, and I'll see you tomorrow. It is now Tuesday, and it feels like winter has hit again in the UK. We've had glorious sunshine all of last week, and now I'm back in my dressing gown and it's raining outside and the inside light is on, which is not fun, but I'm in with a reading update. I managed to get to page I can't even tell you what I got to yesterday. I think I got to 50%. I can't remember what page number that was, but I'm now on 238, having read on my lunch break at work, and I'm 62% of the way through. I really want to finish this today. Really, really want to finish this today. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not loving, the only thing I'm not loving about Ashley Herring Blake's writing style in her adult books is the smut. I personally don't find it that interesting to read, and I don't know if it's just because I'm so used to Elle Kennedy's writing and how she writes smut that I'm just like a little bit jarred from it, but that's not my favourite, and I am skimming the smutty scenes. There aren't many, but there are a few, and I'm kind of like skimming them, just kind of like seeing what the premise is, and then kind of just really focusing on like the plot of the book outside the smut, which is absolutely fine. Really enjoying it still though. However, I tried listening to The Wedding People on my commute from work today. I didn't listen to it on this morning because I didn't really feel like it, but I tried listening to it on the way home, and I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. I don't know whether it's the writing style that isn't being translated well across via audiobook, or whether it's the narrator, but I just don't feel like this is the type of book that I'll enjoy listening to as an audiobook. So I'm going to soft DNF the audiobook version. I still have the Kindle version, which I'm hoping to read at some point in the near future, but the audiobook pick is not the right pick for me right now. So we're going to re-pick my audiobook pick, and hopefully it's not as brutal to me as it was yesterday. So let's get the spinner wheel up, because I do want to listen to an audiobook this week, because I'm hoping on Thursday, because it's Easter weekend this weekend if you weren't aware. So I have Thursday off work because I booked it off to make myself have a little bit of an extra weekend, and then it's Good Friday, and then it's Easter Monday. So we're doing a little bit of housework this weekend. We want to get our skirting board, our door frames and our doors finished painting. We started the process, we haven't finished it yet, so we'd like to get that done, which might require me to listen to an audiobook more so than physically reading. So I do want an audiobook this week, just The Wedding People was not the audiobook for me. So with that being said, let's spin and hope we get something good. A standard one would just be great. Please be nice to me. Standard? Standard. Okay, thank God for that. After the chaos of yesterday, just really needed the standard. So let's pull a regular prompt, just one, and see if we can make it fit to a book that's currently on my physical TBR that's either on Everand or my library app, because obviously we use the audiobook credit for The Wedding People. So let's go for, that's two. We'll go for the top one. And it is read a book that has multiple perspectives. I can do that. Okay, I can do that. Oh my God, it's rare that I can actually do that in terms of an audiobook. So we're going straight to Everand, and we're going to see what I have saved that I have on my physical TBR. We have Blue Sisters, which isn't on my physical TBR, but it's on my Kindle. But I don't know if that's dual perspective. I would assume it is, like multiple perspectives, because it's following 4 sisters. But do I want to have another Kindle? I kind of want to get a book off my physical TBR, so let's pass that one for now. Until I Met You, not really the vibe this week with all the rain we're getting, but is this multiple perspectives? Doesn't look like it, no. So not that one. Betting on You by Lynn Painter. Is this dual perspective? I have hope. It says Bailey and Charlie. So this is multiple perspectives. So that is our first option. Cat Lady, I also have an audiobook on Everand. Is this, I don't think this would be dual perspective or multiple perspectives. No, doesn't look like it. So not that one. 7 X's is an audiobook on Everand. Is this dual perspective? Doesn't seem like it. The Betting on You seems like the only option so far. Yeah. It seems like the only option in terms of like audiobooks I have access to on Everand. So I guess my audiobook pick is going to be Betting on You by Lynn Painter. This will be my first Lynn Painter book, which is really, I'm very, very intrigued because obviously this author is loved on the book community, and I believe Betting on You is an adult book, and I decided to go with a safe bet of an adult book rather than taking one of her YAs into account. But I do believe that everyone loves her YAs as well, so if I enjoy this and her writing style, I might delve into her YAs as well. But this one follows Bailey and Charlie, and the first time Bailey meets Charlie, he is the worst. It sounds like a YA. Fast forward a few years and the two are thrown together working at a water park. Gone is the obnoxious know-it-all, and now Charlie is pretty fun, except for insisting that guys and girls can't just be friends. Determined to prove him wrong, Bailey makes a bet that quickly gets out of hand, especially when Charlie may have made a secret wager of her own. Can the two hide their feelings for one another just to win? A fake dating romance that will have you betting on love from the author of the global smash hit Better Than the Movies. I believe this is adult. I'm going to have a look now. Betting on You age rating. Oh, it's YA. Interesting. Okay, I totally thought this was adult, but it's YA, which is fine. So that's my next audiobook pick. Hopefully I'll actually read it tomorrow on my commute to and from work, and then whilst I'm decorating on Thursday, and get this book finished pretty quickly because it is like a 400-page book. Yeah, 420. So a big chunker. Hopefully will get off my TBR pretty swiftly with the audiobook help. So that is my next book. Sad to be DNFing The Wedding People, but I think it's going to be a soft DNF because of the format that I was reading in, not because of the story overall, hopefully anyway. So that is my update. I'm really hoping I can finish Delilah Green this evening. Fingers crossed. Happy Thursday. You can't even see it anyway, but I'm going to call it out. Don't mind my Christmas jumper. I'm about to start decorating like I mentioned on Tuesday, day 2 of the vlog, that I'm decorating on my day off today. I'm going to be sanding and priming and masking taping, and it's going to be great fun. But I do have an audiobook started, and that is obviously Betting on You by Lynn Painter. I'm literally like 20 pages in, so I'm hoping I can get a good chunk of it done today. It's already a very easy listen, so hoping I can just kind of like get everything done that I want to get done decorating wise today and just churn out this book. Maybe not like in its entirety, but hopefully like a good massive chunk of it would be ideal. And then the other book, which I haven't started yet because I only finished my other book yesterday, and obviously I'll be reading The People We Keep next because I finished Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake, and I'm giving it a 4 star. I ended up really enjoying this book. It was such a fun romance. I really liked the whole dynamic of the story. So this book basically follows, I think I already described it, Delilah Green left her hometown of Bright Falls as soon as she could because both her parents had died and she didn't really feel very cared for or loved by her stepmother and stepsister. So she just kind of like, as soon as she could get out, she did. And she ended up moving to New York and trying to make it as a artist, a queer artist, showcasing queer love and queer self-portraits. And she's finally about to make it, and her stepsister randomly calls her being like, you need to come home, I'm getting married, I want you part of my wedding. And she reluctantly goes back home because her stepmother decides to pay her for her photography skills for the wedding of her actual daughter Astrid. And so she ends up going back to Bright Falls to photograph this wedding, and she's decided to just take the money, do it, and then get back to New York as soon as possible. And then she ends up falling for Astrid's best friend Claire, who is also bisexual and queer, and it's just a very cute romance from there. But what I loved most about this book was the friendship group. So you have Delilah Green, who is the stepsister of Astrid, who always feels like much more of an outsider, and then Astrid has 2 very close friends. So she has like a little trio friendship group of Astrid, Claire and Iris. Obviously with the other books in the series, the next one being Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, you follow Astrid, and then in the last one, Iris, you follow her other best friend, Iris Kelly, who doesn't date, and that's a fake dating one that I cannot wait to get to. And I completely understand why someone said to me that you need to read these in order because the friendship group is so strong in this series. I really feel like this book set them all up, you really got to know them. It was such a fun dynamic. There was a scene where they all went camping, and it just very much reminded me of The Parent Trap because Delilah Green definitely likes to seek out revenge and seek out issues that doesn't need to be issues just for the fun of it, because she wants to get revenge on not ever feeling like she's been cared for growing up. And she's been thrown into this friendship group that kind of like left her out when she was younger as well during school because she was like the outsider. So it was a really interesting dynamic, and they kind of like all eventually like became friends, and I just loved the friendship group so much. But what I also loved, it was dual perspective. So the fact you got Delilah Green's kind of like backstory and her personal point of views, and then you also got Claire's point of view as well. And I really enjoyed Claire as a character because she's a single mum, and you really got to know her as an independent person as well, not only just as like the romantic interest, the love interest of the story. You got to know her as the independent character that she is. She's a single mum, she has a preteen daughter who is very much like wanting her own life, but she's still trying to like hold on to this little girl that she kind of like used to have and she's growing out of. And then you have the father of the daughter as well, who's still in Claire's life very prominently, but they are definitely not in a romantic situation whatsoever, so that their dynamic was also really interesting. And overall, I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the friendship group, and I actually cannot wait to delve into the next one. I've brought Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail on my Kindle already, so I can dive into it. Hopefully Prompt to Prompt will allow me to read it. If not, I'll try and get onto my main TBR, because I really want to continue reading about this friendship group, because I just really enjoyed them. It didn't feel like a 5-star, but as I described it and wrote my review on Goodreads and stuff, I couldn't not point out anything that I didn't particularly love, but it just didn't give me that 5-star feeling, so I settled on a 4, which I'm very happy about, and that's still a very good rating for me. So yeah, highly recommend if you're looking for a small town kind of like romance companion series that is queer, that has really strong friendships. Highly recommend. At least Lala Green Doesn't Care. I haven't read the other 2 yet, but they are on my TBR, because one's on my Kindle TBR and one is on my physical TBR, so I'm very excited to delve into the rest of that series and hopefully get it done in the next month or so, because I'm in the mood to like binge series back to back at the minute, which I've never wanted to do in my entire life whatsoever. But I'm gonna go decorate now. Listen to Betting on You by Lynn Painter, which is a YA, definitely a YA. It follows 2 characters who meet on the aeroplane. Our main character Bailey is very much like very organised, she knows what she wants, and then Charlie bumps into her, tries to cut the queue because she's first in line because she got there early enough, and he's like annoying her, and then end up sitting together on a plane, and that's all I've kind of got to so far. But it's definitely enemies to lovers, and I think they're going to take a bet on believing that boys can just be friends and not in romantic relationships, whereas Charlie definitely doesn't believe this. He always feels like boys are in romantic relationships only with girls and can never be friends, and then Bailey believes that boys can be friends with girls without any emotional or relationship or romantic attachment. So that's where I feel like it's going, but we'll see. I'm gonna go decorate, annoyingly. I really don't want to, but I'm gonna have an audiobook to keep me company, so fingers crossed it won't be too awful. She's a bookworm and makes book content. Interesting. Another twist I didn't expect. Back to Sandy. Thank God my chores are done for the day, but I've got 218 pages into Betting on You, which is over halfway, so good going on this, and I'm really enjoying it. It's just fun, it's easy, it's light-hearted, and I'm actually really enjoying the plot and the characters, which is always a good thing, which is like putting those 2 together is 100% of the book, so when you're enjoying both of them, that's great. But it definitely is reading like a YA, but like in a nice easy way. Like I feel like it's a YA where it's like older YA rather than like completely young YA, so I definitely feel like it's the 16, 17, 18-year-old YA rather than like the 13, 14, 15 age YA. There's no like smutty scenes in it, which is quite refreshing for me at the minute because all I'm tending to read is romance with smut in it, so it's nice to get like real like emotional connection with the 2 main characters who are the 2 love interests, rather than like straight into like the physical aspects of a relationship. So that is what I'm really enjoying most about this book, and yeah, it has a little bit of fake dating in it, which I can't complain about, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's a little update. I'm gonna go chill out now, have a cream egg. It is Easter weekend starting tomorrow. Have a cream egg, have a cup of tea, chill out for a little bit, and then probably end up starting my physical book from the start of People We Keep. It's now the following Monday, and I'm just here to wrap up this week's reading vlog. I did quite well this week. I read 2 full books. I finished off Delilah Green Doesn't Care, which obviously I gave a 4-star, which I mentioned in the previous clips. And then yesterday, on Sunday, which although today feels like Sunday, it is the Monday, but it's Easter bank holiday, so I'm not working today, so it feels like a Sunday. Very weird. But yesterday, I did manage to finish Betting on You by Lynn Painter, giving it a 4.5 stars. Can we just like cheer? I haven't had this higher rating since I rated The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy a 5-star, so this is like, hopefully my reading is now on a trajectory going upwards, because I've had a very flat reading for the last like month and a little bit, being like a load of 3 stars, and I'm ready to just be out of that sort of like rut now. So very happy that Delilah Green Doesn't Care was a 4 and this was a 4.5, so very successful reading week. I just love the fact that this book was a YA. Although I keep saying that I'm coming out of YAs and I only read adult now, it was actually really refreshing to read a book that didn't have much smut in it, Actually no smut at all, because it was a YA, and it really honed in on the relationship between the two main characters from a friend's perspective, more so than from a romantic relationship, and I just really enjoyed that. Charlie and Bailey were such good characters, and their friendship and their banter between the two of them were just chef's kiss. I absolutely adored reading about the two of them. So it does follow Bailey and Charlie as they meet for the first time on an aeroplane, and they both irritate the heck out of each other, and then 2 years later they bump into each other in their hometown, and they're both working at the same place, and enemies, work rivals, friendship, banter, relationship starts from there, and only until the very end of the book do they end up having a romantic relationship. The only reason I didn't give this one a 5-star is because at the very end there was a little bit of miscommunication that I didn't really feel like was necessary, but I understood where the author was coming from in terms of how it was written. It made sense for the two main characters to have this little bit of miscommunication. Obviously they are only 17 years old, they're still trying to figure out their feelings, so I completely understand from that perspective. I just don't love miscommunication, so I gave it 4.5 stars, but other than that I really can't fault it. There were so many cute scenes in this book between Bailey and Charlie that I'm just like, that was so cute, the popcorn scene and the fort scene, and just them going to Colorado together. It was just, and then the side characters and the side plots were also really fascinating. They both have divorced parents, they really connected over that as well, and I just really enjoyed it. So very much glad that I read this book, and I'm going to definitely delve into Lynn Painter's other works. I do have Better Than Movies on my Kindle, so I could be reading that one very soon. I'm very excited for it, because that's also another YA, which I never thought I'd kind of gravitate towards, but seeing as this was a YA and I really enjoyed it, I'm very much intrigued to read all of Lynn Painter's other works, YA and adult. So yay for me. And then on my physical read for the week, The People We Keep, I soft DNF'd this one a couple of weeks ago when I was in a little bit of a reading rut, and I was like, I'll come back to it, and I'm so glad I did, because I'm now 156 pages into this book. I'm really enjoying it. It's just a more dense character development, character perspective sort of story when it follows our main character April, who lives in a motorhome in a very kind of rundown environment, and her dad is very much forgetting about her. He's off with his new wife and new child, and she just lives in the motorhome by herself, and she wants something bigger and better for herself. So she ends up going to this open night because she's really into music and she loves playing the guitar and singing. So she goes to this open night to showcase her original songs, and she basically gets this massive reception, and she realizes this is what she wants in life. She wants to find something bigger and better for herself. So she ends up running away from this motorhome campsite into a village about 150 miles away. She steals all of these things from her dad to try and make it work, and as you enter this new village, she meets new friends, and she discovers kind of how to grow up very quickly, because she is homeless. And I can't really say much more than that, because that is basically what this book is about. It basically just follows our main character April as she tries to navigate this new world that she's living in, and kind of trying to find a job to help support herself when she's only 16. And it's just a really interesting kind of character study of April, and kind of what she kind of manages to get up to, and I'm really enjoying this one as well. I'm actually hoping to finish this today, but that'll be in next week's reading vlog. So this week's reading vlog was very successful, and I'm really excited to delve into next week. And if you want to find out what I read next week, then make sure you subscribe. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up. Subscribe down below to see future content from me. I don't think weekly reading vlogs, might be TBRs, might be wrap-ups, any other British content you can think of. I usually have on this channel, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.